Hi, my name is Edward Burns. I'm a community service officer for the Santa Monica Police Department. Part of our responsibilities are taking crime reports and also investigating traffic collisions. I'm also part of our major accident response team, where we investigate major collisions, fatal accidents, near fatal accidents as well. The way the crisis has affected our team so far is we're definitely a lot more cautious. I know for myself, definitely using a lot more hand washing, real mindful of when I'm out in public. We are taking more phone reports as opposed to actually making personal contact with people to try and reduce our risk, which I think is really beneficial. I think it's actually a really good call from the chief. It was a very good approach. So we try to minimize our contact and still manage to be there for the public to be able to answer their needs or respond to their needs for police reports when they're the victims of frauds, burglaries, car burglaries, bike thefts, whatever it is. We're trying to remain available for the community in that respect, and then we still respond to traffic collisions when they happen. The one thing that I have noticed is that as a result of fewer cars on the road, we are seeing drivers moving faster on the roadways here. So when they are getting into crashes, they are actually getting into more severe crashes than what we'd like to see. So the injuries are becoming more severe. The risk to pedestrians and to bicyclists has also increased as a result of these speeds. So ideally, I would love for the pedestrians and bicyclists to be really mindful when they're crossing the streets, to not just assume that it's going to be safe. Always look, always take that time, wait for that light, because you never know who's out there on the road. The CHP has also already informed us, has noted that they've had a massive increase in severe traffic collisions because of the empty roadways. So if everybody out there could just slow it down a bit, and let's just be mindful, let's be careful. The COVID-19 crisis, the way it's affected me is I'm definitely more concerned about my safety, more concerned about being exposed. I always try to live within a balance, which is I don't want to live in fear, but at the same time, I want to remain cautious. I try to stick to the facts. The one thing I do know for fact is this virus can be deadly. We don't know who's exactly susceptible. We don't know we don't know how we're going to respond to it. So I don't want to assume anything and assume that I'm just going to be one of those people that survives it. So I would rather not take that risk. So like I said, I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to avoid being outside, but at the same time, when I am out, I like to use the precautions. I wear a mask, I wash my hands, wear gloves when it's necessary, like pumping gas or using an ATM. Anything where there's a lot of human contact, I want to try and reduce that risk, and I hope that, we can reach that balance where essentially we don't have to have lockdowns and people can open their businesses, but at the same time, if the public's going to be out there, I hope that everybody can be responsible, can be careful, and be mindful just for everybody else. It's consideration, that's all. It's not a matter of paranoia, it's not a matter of fear, it is just, let's be considerate to one another and understand that everybody comes from different walks. We don't know anybody's background, anybody's history. We don't know who their family members are and what risks they might have at their homes. So we might not like the fact that certain stores want us to wear masks, but we have to be considerate to those people as well. And I think it's a small sacrifice that at the end could pay off greatly for the rest of the country and the rest of our community. The message I'd like to send to the community is the fact that we here at the police department, we understand your needs, we understand your concerns, and we understand your fears. We're doing our best to try and mitigate this circumstance. We are trying to still meet all the requirements to try and keep the city safe, keep the public safe. We're guided by orders and stuff that are given to us from the county, from the state, from the city itself. So this is a fluid situation that is ever evolving, and we're all trying to get a grasp on it. I don't think anybody here in reality is an expert on any of this stuff. So we're all kind of playing it by ear, and trying to use our best judgment. Doesn't always satisfy everybody else's ideas of what's right and what's wrong, but there's no malintent. There's what we're trying to do is what's best for the masses, so don't take it personally. If somebody tells you to get off the beach or get out of a park, this is just what we're being ordered to do, or being instructed to do. And we deal with the same thing when we're off duty. So when I'm off, I can't go down the beach just like anybody else during that period. But we have to be patient. We have to realize that this will be over soon. As things change, as we flatten that curve, we are going to start going back to a more normal, a state of normalcy that we once knew before. So patience and just compassion, a little understanding. It's really all we need. We need to work together as a whole. Everybody, regardless of what our politics are, regardless of what our beliefs about this virus are, if we all work together, we will get through it. And in time, it's going to change. Circumstances will always change. We don't allow our circumstances to change us or our behavior. I think one of the ways that people in this community can help the police department do their job better is to, like I said before, just be mindful, be considerate of your neighbors, be considerate that everybody's going through something right now. There are people that are under stress, there are people that are struggling. It's not an easy ride. It's not going to be an easy ride for anybody. So we all need to work together. Be mindful of the law. The law hasn't ended just because we're in a pandemic. So, let's think about our actions. Let's try to work through problems. As adults, let's communicate with one another. Communicate our needs. Don't just assume things. Don't assume your neighbor knows that you're struggling. Explain to them. Be patient with people. And also, like I said, the main thing for me is be very, very careful out there. The fact is that crime doesn't stop because there's a pandemic either. So be aware that there are still going to be criminals out there. Lock your stuff up. Take stuff out of your car. Don't leave your cars loaded with property, because that gives them opportunity, gives them incentive to do this and share it with other criminals that there are cars over here that have property in them. Be careful when you're walking around at night by yourself or out in open areas. There's far less people out there today. So be mindful if you go to the beach. Watch your surroundings. Try not to be alone, especially at night, far away from people on the beach. And also, like I say, watch those crosswalks. Cross safely. If you're a bicyclist, scooter rider, any kind of mobility on the streets, stop for those red lights, stop for the stop signs. Those few seconds or those 30 seconds that you wait could make all the difference in your life. Same thing for pedestrians. Use the crosswalks. They're there. The stripes allow you to be seen better because of the contrast between you walking against the white stripes. Better chance the driver's going to see you than if you simply just run out in the street or cross the middle of the street. So they're positioned in a way to protect you, And again, we always have to assume that a driver doesn't see us. We never assume that they're going to be able to stop on a dime. That's not the way physics works. The fact is that car moving at 30 miles an hour is going to take almost or a little over 100 feet to stop. So we really have to be mindful of that. And like I said, when you've got people traveling at higher rates of speed, definitely want you to be safer out there and be more careful. And for the drivers, be mindful of the pedestrians and bicyclists out there. Watch your speed, slow down. Let's just be safe. So.